I want to be in front of these recruiters. I want a connection to them. I want introduction to them because I believe that once I have that, it gets a lot easier from them because I'm amazing and they will just look after me. Just give it to us straight. Rich and Chelsea, what's the reality check that you'd like senior level people to have, whether they're pursuing a role in P or not, about interacting with people like you?
Rich, I'll let you go first.
It's absolutely good to be in front of the recruiting community, and being in front of as many recruiters as possible is the best thing to do. There's a little bit of the lighthouse effect, right? The light comes around, and when it shines on you, it's really bright, and then it's going to swing on to the next thing because our job is to fill the roles that we have in front of us. So we love to network. We love to be connected to good executives. We love to be connected to folks that want to continue to move and advance their career. Chelsea and I, pull time out of our schedule to come and do things like this because we think it's important, and we believe in helping people advance and develop their career. And for Sandra, I'm sure it's the same thing. But just being present is a big part of it. So a clear understanding of your personal value proposition. What are the kinds of companies? What are the kinds of roles? What are the geographic requirements? When we have that, it lets us map quickly to what we have going on in our own portfolio. We can make introductions to colleagues that may be having, may have other appropriate projects as well. And then just kind of a constant touch base, every month, couple weeks, whatever the case may be. The other best way is when you're in a role, give us work, because we're always going to remember you then.
That's a true story. Yeah, I think it's, and it tends to happen when folks have been with, one company or a particular industry for a long time. They'll, send me a really nice email and say, all right, I need you to help me find a job. And, I think most importantly, knowing that, our role is to, we're hired by the client companies and to help them build out their executive teams. So not taking it personally when we try, but we're pinged, I used to get 200 emails a day when I ran Garrett Search Partners before I joined ZRG. And I would love to talk with all those people, but, I only can't imagine what our transom at ZRG is, or any of the other, big firms. So I think understanding what, being concise, and the best message, honestly, is, hi, would love to connect with you. Here is my resume. Here is my value proposition, geography. Please let me know if we can be of help. Please let me know if you have anything come up. Those are the ones that I put them in a file and make sure that we get them into the database. But those are the ones that are most helpful. That's clear and concise, just super simple. And then we can come back and come back to that person. But we are very focused, and particularly in PE. PE is all about the deal at that moment, and everything timing wise is accelerated with PE, is in contrast to our private companies. So just keep in mind that it's nothing personal if the recruiter doesn't reach out to you. It's all about what's in front of them right now.
Sandra?
Well, going back to what they both said, just as in working with recruiters, networking in general, networking is a two-way street. When I speak to people who say, oh gosh, I really haven't networked in years. Well, let me guess, the last time you networked was when you were looking for a job. Well, yeah, you can't just approach network. A network is relationships. So these are recruiters too. You can't just approach them when you need something. And like Rich said, giving them work is the same sort of thing. When I ask people, I say, well, why do you have so few connections on LinkedIn? And, that makes it harder for people to find you. And they'll say, well, it's always just people trying to sell me something, or recruiters trying to just get job orders. Well, why wouldn't you still connect with them and at least understand what sort of opportunities they're working on? Because most people, when they go out to access this network, and our data does show us that most executives that get a roll through network are not going to get a roll through a first degree connection. It's going to be a second or third, and a second is a recruiter. So what that means is when you have this networking mentality, you have a give and take mentality, and you're a resource as much as you are branding yourself. And that's to the next point, which is branding yourself. The most concise message that you can possibly give a recruiter is to, other than your geography, is to let them know the problem you solve. Too many people expect that they should just go and tell their whole career story and read out their whole resume as if that solves something. I did a little video series where I ran around to all my clients asking them their top pet peeves. And one of their top pet peeves was, hey, here's my resume. Look at it. Tell me if it fits any of your needs. What a recruiter really wants is tell me what needs you solve. Tell me, I take companies that are here in this industry and I take them there. Well, that could be a role that one of these recruiters is working on. It could be one that it could be a scenario that one of their clients just talked to them about. And if you brand with them right, you will be front of mind, especially if you're having a give and take relationship.
Oh, go ahead, Chelsea.
I was just going to say, and I don't know the latest statistics. It's been a while, but there's a whole, before it even gets to executive search, so many searches happen behind closed doors. Go reach out to your network, build out your LinkedIn network, call the people that have left your former organizations, network with them. They are the most likely people. It's just a natural kind of positioning that you would make sense because you've worked in the same industry. So go reach out to those people is what I say. And search is just a piece of it. If you're, on the candidate side, it's, but go work your own network, people you've worked with.
There are two things that came up in the conversation, and Sandra really hit on one that's important, and that is the two-way street. Even if a recruiter calls you and you're actively in the role, recruiter calls you and it's not the job for you, you're not going to take it, you're not going to take it, but you shoot an email back that says, it's not me, but what are you looking for? Can you send me the spec? We really appreciate that. That makes you stand out, and that's almost as special as the recruiters that call you after the interview to turn you off if you don't get the job. But there's a lot of value in that for us. 9 times out of 10, our placement isn't from our 120, 130 names in our original research pool. It's from the person that we talked to that says, it's not me, but you really should talk to Susan because she does exactly what you want her to do. And I happen to know she's thinking about making a change. So having friends that will do that referral for you when they get that phone call is important. To Chelsea's point, staying active with your network in the segment, but also a couple seconds back to a recruiter that just says, it's not me, but maybe. That investment of time really makes you stand out on the recruiter side of the house. And we certainly appreciate it. And those are the folks we do take extra time with. And, when you're in an active job search, that's the recruiter that's likely to call you back first and help you think about ideas and where you might be opportunistically introduced. The other side of it is, lots of private equity funds have started building their own internal talent functions. So you'll see them on the website of the sponsor with titles like, talent acquisition, human capital, organizational development, organizational design. All of those are titles that private equity sponsors are using right now for someone inside their fund whose job it is to do this outreach, to screen all of the resumes, to keep their active network of executives. Connecting into that community is also almost as important as connecting to the recruiter community. They still call us for a lot of those searches, but if they can solve it before it gets to us, if that internal talent manager says, oh, I just talked to the perfect person for this role, that's just another avenue. They're almost all former recruiters too. So they they're decent people, we like to think, but no, I think that's another avenue to just put in your networking pile.